The Gallagher Shots podcast is sponsored by Tyre Spot, the Northeast's leading tyre supplier with branches across the region. Tyre Spot don't just do tyres, they cover everything from servicing to wheel alignment. They can handle every aspect of your car's maintenance. For more information, visit tyrespot.co.uk. Enjoy the episode.
Hi everybody, it's Kris here from the Gallagher Shots YouTube channel and podcast. Just a very quick message before this episode starts. We are aware of technical issues during this one. It sounds like my mic has blew. That may have been after the match reaction and me getting a little bit too excited. We have tried our hardest to fix the issue, but yeah, bear with us. We will be back with more top quality podcasts coming your way. Thanks.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Gallagher Shots YouTube channel and podcast. It is Sunday afternoon. We are all still basking in the glory of beating Manchester City, but we're straight back at it with another match preview. This time we focus towards Champions League football, a campaign where Newcastle United have been quite impressive so far, and it is Marseille that we travel to this time. It's our second away fixture of the Champions League campaign, I believe it is. Is that correct? Yes, it is, because we went to Headworth Hall, Jarrow Blind School, best he liked to call them, and we absolutely demolished them. But this time, we are off to the south of France to face Marseille. And these two boys are actually going as well, but we'll hear about their planned trips towards the end of the show. So, I'm going to start with you, Andy, because both of these clubs have crossed paths before, twice in the semi-final back in, UEFA Cup, it would have been back then, back in 2004. I was shocked that we've only played them twice before, first ending in a 0-0 draw, and the second, people that are old enough to remember, Didier Drogba absolutely tore Newcastle a new arsehole. He was fantastic that night. He got a brace. But we were shocked at something we found out earlier, Andy, weren't we? So he's starting right back for Marseille, went on to play for Newcastle United. Andy, let everybody know who that was.
Tino Livramento. No, Habib Beye. Which just seems like the wrong generation of player, doesn't it?
In
like,
my
completely.
Mind, like, absolutely.
He must have been a Ben. I don't like. He's one of those players, isn't it? You just see the name and you just need the recesses of your brain. My lass has got me for how many things I don't remember, but I remember who Habib Beye is. Mm-hmm. But I don't remember him playing for us like an awful lot. But yeah, crazy. I mean, I couldn't remember Fabian Barthez playing for them as well. But they must have had a cracking team then. And I know Ben put his hand up about remembering playing Marseille, but I was actually there as well, and it must have been a wee. But I remember going down with my dad and speaking to a few French people beforehand. But yeah, Habib Beye, Newcastle legend. Who knew?
Ben, you mentioned that you could actually remember him playing for Marseille as well. That shows how old you are, mate.
Hi, I can't believe it. The video is actually thinking about it. Barthez, I couldn't remember the Barthez one as well. So, but I just show how old I am, mate. You're probably got this far behind, but yes, mate, I'm there.
This is why you're included, mate, for the older generation. Focusing on the game, and I'm gonna basically stick with you on this one, Ben. Marseille, they haven't been doing too well in the Champions League. They are sat 25th in the Champions League table, whereas Newcastle, as we all know, have been doing very, very well in this campaign. We are 6th, I believe it is. We've only been on the back of that one defeat against Barcelona, and we've been pretty impressive. Everybody else that we have came up against, and I think, if we're being honest, I think we've all left games as like looking at like Benfica, obviously the away game, and you're coming from those games and think, the quality wasn't that good in front of you, and you think you're getting tougher tests in the Premier League against the likes of Brighton, Brentford, whoever it may be that week. But we've beaten the teams in front of us that we've needed to do. We've got ourselves in a very, very good position. The opposite for Marseille. Marseille have not been good. I think they've only won one of their 4 games. They've lost the other 3. But yeah, they've conceded a fair few within that as well.
there's a thing. Yeah, there's a bit of mitigation with that though. I mean, I remember match day 1. I think it was Real Madrid.
Yes.
And they went 1-0 up and really give Real at the Bernabeu a really hard game. And then I think they went down to 10 men in one of the other games. This is a massive game for Marseille. Marseille really need to win this game, which I really wish they didn't, to be fair. Like, take a little bit off it going over there. Like, their fans and everybody else are going to be really up for it. Because if we go over there and turn them over, that's putting them under a lot of pressure, just even to qualify, to get into like the knockout stages, like the second way. So, yeah, huge game for them. They haven't played particularly well in the Champions League, but in the league, obviously they're flying, aren't they, as well? So, yeah, big game.
Back of a good win on Friday as well, when it was a 5-1.
5-1 away at Nice.
Yeah, 5-1. Mason Greenwood scoring a few more as well. So, yeah, they've got some familiar names, which I'm sure we'll come to later on. But, yeah, they're a good side. De Zerbi, we all know about De Zerbi. We'll probably remember our games against Brighton. He's went over there and they play basically the same way as he did when he's at Brighton. They'll have a go, they'll play a ridiculously high line, and they'll press for like mad. And that's the way they play against everybody. It doesn't matter who they play. Like, that's just his footprint, which, to be honest, I think should suit us to a degree. I think that's not the worst thing in the world. But yeah, they're a decent side. But you're right. Not doing well in the Champions League so far, but they'll be coming into this game probably a lot of confidence after the 5-1 win on Friday. They've had an extra day's rest as well. And I'm looking forward to it. The Stade Vélodrome's a new one for me to tick off. I'm not expecting it to be the most friendly welcomes that we'll ever get. We're in there about 5 hours before, but yeah, be an interesting night.
So their current form, if like we've just touched on, their Champions League form is stinking. Like, there's no denying that they've played 4 in the Champions League so far. Like you mentioned, the defeat to Madrid opened it up. I think Madrid had a player sent off in that one as well, but it was 2-1 and defeat at that one. They went into game week 2 and absolutely annihilated Ajax 4-0.
But everyone has.
Yeah, true. That is true. Then they got a player sent off against Sporting Lisbon, defeat 2-1 in that one, and then a home defeat at Atlanta as well. So they've not been doing good. But if we look at the home form, not the home form, the form in all competitions, Ben, it's not too dissimilar to ours in all competition as well. Out of the last 5, they've won 3, lost 1, drawn 1, whereas ours in the last 5 were won 3, lost 2. So it pretty matched heading into this game if we're looking at form in overall and in every single competition. So I think the second in the French league at the moment, which let's be honest, the French league. I don't want to say too much in case you two boys get recognised when you're over there.
And they put me Marseille top on. I'm saying Andy before, and then they put me Marseille top on just in case any of the fans are watching. Like, quite friendly.
Well, your background gives you away as well, to be honest.
You'll have to change the name of his barn or garden, won't you? Something else. Coming across to you, Andy. Newcastle's away form is a huge concern. There's no denying that. Yes, I mentioned at the very start of this one that we'll have picked up one away win this season that has came in the Champions League. Premier League is a whole different story. We have been stinking away grounds out throughout the season so far, yet to pick up an away win in the Premier League. Do you think on the back of that great result which we've had against City, and the fact that something which we mentioned on the match reaction, which we did, Andy, the return of the fullbacks. We've had a little early Christmas present with Haaland and Tino being available. Do you think that changes your thoughts going into this one, with it being an away fixture?
Yeah, it's definitely give us a lift as fans in terms of our confidence. I don't think there's been as big a gap between home and away as a lot of people say. I think we've been poor at home as well. Yep. When you think of some of those games like the Fulham game, we've got over the line just because we've got that extra sort of 5% with being in front of our own fans. But it's not like there's been chalk and cheese between home and away like it is sometimes under Howe. But yeah, obviously the Premier League away form is an issue because we just lose control of games really easily. And it's something we said in the reaction as well in that Man City game. It was the first time I'd felt sort of all season that we didn't lose control of it, and all those midfielders it was a good balance between all of them. They were all up for it, and they were all sort of at the best. So yeah, I think it has given us a lift. I certainly am more excited for going over there now because I don't think the actual few days will be that enjoyable, but I was hoping the football would be good. So I am more confident. I watched a little bit of the Marseille highlights, and you're right in terms of they play ridiculously high, score loads of goals, proper sort of crash bang wall up football. Nice got in quite a lot against them. They just couldn't put the ball away. So I think it'll be a really good game. And I would be worried for it if we'd gone into that Man City game and shown how we had been sort of earlier, if you know what I mean. But it looks like the sort of real Newcastle's back, and hopefully we can take that to one of these sort of really harsh and volatile European stadiums and impose ourselves on it.
What's your thoughts on it, Ben? Obviously, we've not spoke to you away from the WhatsApp chat about the result against City, but not necessarily the result itself, but how that has probably galvanised the fan base as well as the squad, but just mainly highlighting just how important it is to have those two fullbacks available.
It made a massive difference. I thought yesterday were excellent. Like, if you look at the way we played, do you know what was great about yesterday? We scored 2 goals. And I think we've been talking previously and stuff, we talked about how didn't really miss any chances. Like, I know City had chances yesterday, but we could have at least scored 6 or 7 goals. Like, and that was great.
At least 6.
I think Voldemort must have missed 3. I mean, Harvey Barnes, the one that he missed, I thought he was miles offside sitting in front of me. Then I've watched it back and he probably wasn't. The one when he missed from like 3 or 4 yards. Yeah. The one he missed the first minute. Like, I think Malik Chow missed it, or somebody missed a header. I couldn't see from my end, and the Gallagher from a corner. Like, we created chances yesterday. Donnarumma was brilliant. It's the first time I can remember all season that we've actually done that. We actually tore them apart at times. We looked excellent. Don't think it's any coincidence, though, that you had Lewis Hall and you had Tino either side. Like, they were bombing on. They were committing their players. Like, Harvey Barnes and Murphy were getting that extra yard, 2 yards. Yeah. Like you lads said on the match reaction. Like, and it made the world a difference. Like, Voldemort got chances yesterday. He probably should have scored, to be fair. Like, but that's great. That's what we want, right? We want to be creating chances, being positive, being on the front foot. It was everything that we'd said we wanted from Eddie Howe's Mags. I did the show like prior to that of why we stick with Howe and stuff, and I was asked what would it be like, what would you say to him, or what would you like want Newcastle to revert back to or could do going forward? And we did everything yesterday that I said on there. We played front foot football, we were brave, we created chances, we didn't show them any respect. There was a bit of shithousery in there as well, which was great. With everything you want to see from Eddie Howe's Newcastle.
So we've spoke about how important our fullbacks are and having players return to form and likes of the midfield 3 as well, which me and Andy mentioned on the reaction. So if you haven't seen that one, just go and watch it, because there's been 3 recordings that have gone out so far just on that one result. So you've had the instant reaction from myself, you've had the match reaction from myself and Andy, and Scott also did an audio recording as well of his match day experience as well, heading into the ground as well, which is a great listen, capturing the noise in St. James's Park on that one as well. But yeah, there's our large return to form. But there's a few key players from Marseille's point of view, Ben, that can be quite dangerous.
Yeah, there's a few names that should probably like stand out for us as well.
For all the wrong reasons sometimes.
Well, the first one I'm going to mention is for the wrong reasons in many ways, to be fair. Like, I'm sure you'll get a few songs sang for him, which I'll not sing on here, from the away end, which I'm sure the Marseille fans who love him will really appreciate. But Mason Greenwood is absolutely flying for them. Look, when he was in the Premier League, he was a good player. He was always tipped to be an absolute superstar over here. Obviously, we all know what happened, or what didn't happen, or whatever else, like in the press and stuff, and why he's been banished over there. But they seem to just accept that over there. He's flying. He's scoring all kinds of goals, and he looks absolutely electric as well. They've got Pierre Aubameyang up front as well. Like, he's doing well. He might play up front against us. Greenwood's been playing from the right a lot, but them two have been rotating. They've got Morgan Sanson, who used to play for Villa. He's playing there as well. He starts sometimes in the middle of the park. He was on the bench the other day. Newcastle fans will probably remember in the summer we were really heavily linked before we signed Malik with Berardi, the Argentinian centre-half. Their captain. We've watched him quite a bit. He's obviously on the radar. I wouldn't be overly shocked if Fabian Schär doesn't stay next season, if he doesn't get a contract, if he was the one that will actually go for it to bring in. He's obviously a familiar name. We've got Emerson, who used to play for West Ham and Chelsea as well at left back. And they've got Angel Gomez, who's played for England as well. Not really talked much about over here, but he's very, very highly regarded over in France. Sometimes can play as a 6. He can play a little bit further forward. Very good on the ball. A typical De Zerbi player. Very comfortable in position. Brave. And they'll push forward as well. Got Timothy Weah, George Weah's son. He's another one. He's a winger normally when he was at Milan, but it probably says a lot about Marseille. He's played right back at times this season. And he's a very forward-thinking winger. Never mind.
He scored this week as well. Scored a worldie.
Yeah, he did. That's right, and he did. Yeah. So, yeah, the team, when you look at it, is majorly attacking. Like they'll play on the front foot and they'll have a go. Like that's the thing with De Zerbi. You know what you're going to get when you play against any of his teams. They've got a lot of players who can hurt you. Got a lot of pace. But I look at the team and I was like, God, there's not many defenders in there. Like it's literally, you've got about 8 or 9 attacking players who are going to go and have a go. So I don't think it'll be a boring game, put it that way.
I think the fact that you mentioned all those players is there, and just looking over the last few games as well that they've played, they have a lot of players that can score goals, something which we've struggled with this season. We've said all season that we need to get goals from more areas, and that's exactly what Marseille are doing. They have a lot of goal scorers. I think in the last game out, there was 4 different goal scorers in that 5-1 victory. I think Aubameyang got 2, and what was shared out. But yeah, they are dangerous, and I think a lot of fans will probably look at that similar to what I did earlier on and look at the second in the French league, but it is just the French league. Take that with a pinch of salt because Marseille are still a decent team. But from Newcastle's point of view, Andy, obviously those changes made against that win against City. I'm just getting that in as many times as I possibly can. That victory against Manchester City. But we made a few changes there. Heading across to France, do you think Eddie will rotate any players? We'll know Joe Linton sat on 2 yellow cards, so the next one that he picks up, he will be suspended, which I don't think will be a huge concern because if we do get 3 points against this one, then it's pretty comfortable at that point. Any thoughts from you, mate? Do you think Eddie will rotate or stick with that winning team?
Well, he's in a difficult position now, isn't he? Because he'll want to keep the team as it is because we were so good against Man City, which we won, by the way. I don't know if it's been mentioned yet. But I think, for me, Hall limping off in the Man City game, everyone obviously panics about that, thinking, is he injured again? Tino's just come back. We didn't probably expect to even see him on the bench, and he was in playing 90 minutes in a really sort of high-intensity game.
So we've just mentioned how important it was to have the 2 fullbacks back,
and they might not be there. No, well, this is the thing. Like with Greenwood, he does start on the right, but he's very mobile. He runs across to the left. He goes into number 10. If there was any talk of potentially rotating the fullbacks, I don't want to do it in this game because I think Trippier and Byrne will both struggle against someone that's sort of really good with the feet and a team that has so much pace on the counter attack. All the goals against Nice, a lot of them were just them pelting it forward quickly and getting in behind. So I'd like to see the defence maybe stay as it is. Maybe see Botman go back in there. I could see him maybe coming in for Shea because I think they're probably the most likely centre backs to swap out as the season goes. You cannot drop Chow; he just looks unbelievable. He's the heart of that defence now. So I wouldn't like to see any real change in the defence. Pope will obviously play. Midfield wise, again, like it's hard to say because away from home, when you might not have much of the ball, you probably want to play Joe Linton. And if we get one more win in the competition, we're kind of there already, aren't we? We don't need to do a lot more. So maybe Howe just thinks, do you know what, I might just go for it and try and get that extra win, and then we can maybe for the next game rotate out. In terms of the front 3, I think it'll be Voltemada and Barnes again, just because, it's all we really have in those positions. I wouldn't be surprised if he maybe puts Alanga on rather than Murphy. Away from home, matching them up for pace. Although I wish he would learn how to sprint. Someone that's so quick. He's doing my head in terms of how little he wants to run.
That counter attack against City, when he's running on the left hand side, he just stops. Like, what are you doing?
Tonali overtook him and he had the ball and he'd been playing for 80 minutes. But I think Alanga, we all know what he can bring when he probably just needs a bit more sort of love from Eddie Howe in terms of what we really need from him. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see him.
And he has been okay in the Champions League appearances that we've seen in some moments. Not necessarily, not.
Oh yeah. Like we said, the standard's not as good, and I don't think their defence is particularly quick. I know they've got Pavard in there, who's a bit older now, and the fullbacks are going to be bombed forward. So there's potentially an opportunity there. And then maybe as the game goes on, if we feel like we're in control of it, we stick Murphy on if we think we're going to be in possession a bit more. But I don't see massive changes, to be honest.
What about you, Ben?
I don't know, it's a funny one. I was just thinking that because it's a bit like chess at the moment, isn't it? Especially from now until when the next international break is way past Christmas. You've got to think of the next game. Now, it's a bit of a funny one, this, because we're 6th, as you pointed out earlier on. I think we probably need to win one of our away games. Got Leverkusen, though, which is before the derby, in a really packed schedule. So I can kind of see we're changing it a little bit there. And your home game, if you win two of the 4 games you've got left, you've got a very, very good chance of finishing the top 8, which means £20 million at least. It means that you've got an advantageous draw, obviously, for the last 16. And you're obviously in the last 16, it's 2 last games, so it's huge. So this is a big game. It's a winnable game. It's a very, very difficult game. But then we've got a massive game on Saturday that I know you're going to, Kris. Lewis Hall cramped up after, 70 minutes?
Thereabouts, yeah.
Yesterday. I don't think you can play Lewis Hall on that. I'm sure Bunce is saying to him, he's not starting. Can you play him? He's going to get the day he'll probably rest up. You're flying over tomorrow. It's a big risk having him play again.
Which I agree with Ben.
It's a huge risk. Mint.
Yes, mint. He is mint, but it is a huge risk, and you don't want to give him any sort of setbacks either.
No, you don't. And I totally agree with Andy. He's 100% what he's saying. I could see Greenwood giving Dan Burn a lot of issues. It sounds stupid because Tino, obviously, he's played less football the last few weeks than what Paul did. But I can probably see. I wouldn't be massively shocked if we did actually go to 5 at the back against them. I wouldn't be massively shocked by that. But I could see Tino potentially playing left back and then if Trips is fit, Trips coming in at right back, and I can see Dan Burn potentially starting at centre half. I think Dan Burn's got a very good shout to start on Saturday for a different show because of his form previously when he's been at centre back. Midfield's a funny one, isn't it, as well? I think you've got to change things. I think it's all right thinking about the next game, and obviously I'm going over there, so I want to see our best possible team and see if we're going to win. But I think if we're going to be successful this season, Howe's got to be bold and he's got to trust other players. Mm-hmm. I think this is probably the game where you maybe take one of your midfielders out. It was interesting. He didn't bring Ramsey on yesterday.
Yeah, Willock came on.
I wonder how he felt about that. Yeah, he brought Willock on. I'm not going to, but he brought Willock on, and you think like Ramsey for me, we paid £40 million for him. This is the kind of game for me where you've got to trust him. So I probably would bring Ramsey into the team, probably at the expense of Joe Linton. I think the game against Everton's huge. They're going to, like as I say, Andy said earlier on, they're going to bomb forward. There's going to be loads of space in behind. If you've got pace, I think you'll cause these all kinds of issues because the fullbacks aren't either fullbacks, the wingers, and they can't really defend. So I'm expecting to see changes, to be honest. I expect to see Alanga start on the right-hand side. I would start Ramsey, and I think you'll not see Lewis Hall start. I think there'll be a change there as well.
I think this is something that we'll mention at the very start of the season when we started bringing an extra few lads into the club, saying that it's a squad game, especially when you've got Champions League football, and Eddie Howe needs to start rotating the team. And I think I'm in agreement as well. I think, yes, I would love to see Tino and Lewis Hall start the game, but I wouldn't be shocked if neither of them started or maybe Tino starts, because it's just a huge risk. It really is a huge risk, and we've seen how disappointing we've been in those fullback positions when either, if not both of those, have been missing as well. And do you really want to run the risk of possibly, like I said, a setback where it could be another X amount of weeks for either one of those defenders missing that run up through Christmas as well, which is a very, very tough schedule that we've got coming up. So I don't know. I think there will be a few rotations, and I think I agree with both of you as well, thinking that could also come in midfield as well. It's just a shame that we've seen once again another update from Wissa to the point where he's not even training with the team at the moment as well. So we don't even have that option up top, and we're still relying on Voldemorna to be the focal point in our attacking threat at the minute, and which is really, really frustrating, which opens up the question to should Wissa go to the African Cup of Nations, but that's for a whole different podcast because I've got plenty to say on that one. But you boys, you are both heading over to France. Rather you than me. The club have informed fans not to wear club colours, team colours. Don't wear it. Have told nobody to travel alone, which I think all three of you, both used to, and Nicola, are travelling over alone. But meeting up once you're over there. But yeah, start with you, Ben. You're flying from Scotland, are you?
I'm flying from Edinburgh. I'm not alone. I've managed to.
You got a friend.
My mate Graham. Graham's coming, so that'll help a little bit. But yeah, I'm flying tomorrow morning, and actually, not too long away. I leave at 5 to 8 tomorrow, so I think Graham's coming over to mine, driving over, and I'm driving up at 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. I'm going via Dublin.
That's
Dublin.
12 hours. That's literally 12 hours from now.
Nice. Well, I'll probably leave that pint to one side. Actually, I've got not too long away. So I'm going to try and get my head down. I'm going to watch a bit of the NFL later on, a bit of Red Zone. And then I'm going to try and get myself to sleep about 9:30. Just looking forward to getting in the airport, getting first drink, getting into Dublin. I'm not even a massive Guinness fan, so I'll probably not have a Guinness, to be fair. And then getting over to Marseille. I've got a few bars in mind where I'm going to go to. I'm not going to say them in case there's any Marseille fans watching this. That's all I want. Nearly asked you to black my face out before I came in, to be fair, just in case any
Get that balaclava ready, mate.
Balaclava going and stuff. It's a different away game. I think last time in the Champions League, I think I said before, I went to all the away games and I was pretty jovial. Even Milan, there was no real issues. And this is going to be... I went to Paris last time as well, and I heard a lot about Paris, and people were like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. And it was spot on. There was no trouble. Well, I don't know. This one's going to be a bit different, I think. Their fans, if anybody watched them against Real Madrid, were fighting with the police outside. Against Ajax fans were banned. They weren't allowed to come to the game. I don't know... I had friends who went to the game last time I played them, and they said it was absolutely mental. Said they'd never been to a game like this. Thankfully, my last doesn't listen to the podcast, so I can say all this now.
It's all sunshine and rainbow, isn't it? Really.
But I don't know. I hope I go there, and it's sad in some ways. Like, look, the rest of the trips have been mint. I've got so many good memories, and I've just been able to go around and like I'll wear my colours to a game. Like, might not be able to. I was just speaking to Andy before this one. Like, it's going to be very, very different. But I'm looking forward to Stade Vélodrome. It's obviously it's all been done out, hasn't it, as well? Mm-hmm. It's a massive crowd. I think the atmosphere will be pretty special. We've got to literally, you've got to be there from where the meeting point is from 4:30. So we're going to be in the ground. What is it, Andy? 15 minutes? From Metro to the ground.
So. I reckon it's going to take 8
hours. 4.5 hours before or something. Yeah, something nuts. It's literally 4.5 hours before kick-off.
Reminds us of when I got forced into Stokes ground about 4 hours before kick-off once upon a time. The coppers took us straight in. The worst. It was the game where who was playing their left wing? He crossed the ball and it lobbed Krull. It was literally the worst goal they conceded ever. Got beat 1.
Was that when Sam Allardyce was there?
Possibly got beat 1-0. Aye, Stoke. It was a player it might be the left back that we have been linked with for years that scored. Can't remember.
Peters.
Might have been, yeah. Could have been. Yeah. So your flight, Ben, you're going from, like we said, so you're travelling from Newcastle to Edinburgh, flight to Dublin to Marseille. Andy, how's yours panning out for you?
Well, I don't have to drive quite as far. I live near Smoggyland, so I'm driving to Teesside Airport, flying over to Amsterdam Schiphol, which is apparently some massive airport that lots of flights go through, and then going from there to Marseille, and I get into Marseille about 11 p.m, just before Nickel does, so me and Nickel are going to then go to our separate hotels, just in the same Uber, hopefully, and then yeah, we can meet in the designated fan zone, which doesn't look that big, and then the club guidance says don't meet in big groups, but you can only go here. So
everybody go to that one place.
Yeah, and it's open from 11 apparently. They say there's bars and places to eat, and there's plenty of toilets and stuff like that. So who knows what it's going to be like. My hotel's right by the meeting point, so I've said to these two lads, if it kicks off, I'll just put you up in my place so you don't have to walk anywhere around the city. But it's all, it's like Ben was saying before about PSG and stuff like that, they obviously say all these things just to cover themselves and just to make sure everyone's careful. I think honestly, if we don't wear our colours, we keep our reds down, we don't cause any aggro, we'll be fine. There's obviously mentalists in every group of fans. I think Marseille is a bit of a special case, but there's loads of police there. My other worry is that the police, I don't think, really care about English fans either.
True.
No, I don't like it very much, Andy. I don't think from past records, yeah.
Well, I think it was Man U played Leon, didn't they, like a couple of years back, and they ended up getting stuff chucked at them by the police. But my dad does watch these sometimes, so maybe I should say no. It's fine as well. I'll say the same thing.
You'll be on a flight by
the
the time
south of France is globally.
You'll be away. You'll already be gone.
Yeah, that's true.
Nicole's got a bit of a different journey. Nicole is going to Stansted, is it? So he might already be in London. He might already be in Marseille, to be fair. So Nicole's gone to Stansted. Then is he got a direct flight from there? I'm imagining.
I think it does go direct from Stansted, from what I remember.
Yeah. So we're going to meet up for a few beers and stuff on the mall. We're going to try. We'll be 2 yards away from each other, like we'll be all traveling in that one area.
In a big herd.
Dusted off as well. So I've got my best friend. Don't know how that'll last after a few pints.
The issue is, boys, if you are meeting up with Nicole, you cannot hide anywhere apart from under Nicole in his shadow. That's the issue, because he's 20 foot tall, and so he's got no chance.
He's a big lad first forward.
Are you looking forward to it, despite obviously everything that we've seen released from the club and the rumours of previous times away to Marseille? Are you both looking forward to it though?
I'll be meant to. I wanted to go. I'd love to see something like, I know people that have been to like stadiums in Turkey and stuff like that, and I'd love to go to one of these hostile stadiums, and that's kind of part of it. I knew I wouldn't get a Leverkusen ticket because the points would be too high. So I thought, I'm just going to go for Marseille. It is what it is. It might be a once in a lifetime experience. It might be, well, either way it will be, because I probably won't want to go again. But I'm looking forward to it. And ultimately, it's all about just supporting the lads, isn't it? And the best team of my lifetime, we owe it to them to go and support them, even if it is somewhere like that.
I'll start with you because I'm with you right now, Andy. Prediction wise, it's like we've said throughout this one, it is going to be a tough test, but Newcastle are on the back of a victory against City, seeing it again. What's your thoughts?
Well, other than claiming on my travel insurance when I'm over there, when I get put in the hospital. No, I think it'll be a really, really good game. I think we'll see goals. I don't think it's going to be a ball fest when we go over there. I could honestly see both teams getting several goals, so I'm going to say 2-2. But I think we'll score an equaliser. So I think they'll start really quick. They'll dominate the early stages, and I think we'll grow into it and get a goal towards the end. I'm actually going to say Alanga will get a goal because he's due it, and I can't think of anyone else at the top of my head. So Alanga's going to score, and then maybe a penalty at the end actually for Big Nick. But yeah, it'll be a really good game, I reckon.
Ben?
I'm going to say this after the Man City result, so I probably wouldn't have said this earlier on, but we're 100% record in Europe away from home. We did very, very well. I think we're all going to be worried getting out the ground, because I'm going to go for it to beat them 3-1. I'll go for a Newcastle away win. I'm going to go Boyd after watching them play the other day. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 win. I think Marseille will come flying out the traps, but I do think that the Zerbi's teams are kind of suited for us to a degree. I think they'll just come flying forward and flying at traps from everywhere. And I think Alanga will start. And I think Ramsey will probably start. I think we'll have quite a bit of pace. I think that'll cause them all kinds of problems as well. So they're not the biggest physical sides as well, like from corners and stuff. I think we'll cause them a few issues. So yeah, I'm optimistic. I think we're going to get I've never seen a win in Europe yet. So I've seen him score 1 goal. So I'm hoping we're going to see 3 more tomorrow. I'm going to go for Newcastle tomorrow. On Tuesday, I'm going to see a 3-1 win.
I'm going to stick with your confidence, Ben, and I'm going to go for a Newcastle United 2-1 win. I think it'll be a very similar game to what we saw at the weekend, where it's just going to be chances upon chances, end to end. I'm hoping for that sort of game, because it was a fantastic game to watch against Manchester City. It ended well forward, which helps. But for a neutral watching that game, would have been fantastic. And I think we're probably going to see the same on Tuesday night. I think this might, and I might be being bold on this one, but I think this might be our start of a nice run for the club as well. So you've picked up a decent result there. I'm saying decent, a fantastic result against City. Can carry that one into Europe, which we have done so far this season. We've performed very well this season in Champions League football. Then obviously we've got the task of traveling to Merseyside on Saturday as well, which is another good opportunity. Everton have been doing pretty well so far this season, but it's somebody that's in touch and distance of us right now. So why not? Why can we not just go and win 3 on the bounce and get 2 away victories on the bounce as well? So fingers crossed. That's what I'm hopeful for, but maybe a little bit too optimistic because I've only just seen that one result against City to convince us that we're going to win the league now. But here we are.
We're so fickle.
But yeah, thanks, boys, for joining us. If you are travelling over to Marseille, like these boys are as well, just be safe. Just stay with people that you know. Don't wear your club colours. Somebody's going to have to go and buy poor Adam P a new wardrobe because God knows how he's getting around without wearing club colours. Bless him. But yeah, just look after each other. Thanks for watching this one though. Been a pleasure as always. If you just want to like the video, if you have enjoyed it, if you want to become a subscriber as well, it costs you nothing to do that. If you do want to give an extra bit back and help out, it is just $2.99 a month to become a member. You get early access to videos, extra videos, loads more content as well. But yeah, thanks everybody. Stay safe, boys. See you next time. Ta-ra.